Hey, what is going on, everybody? It's Luke Beller, and I thought today we'd go over the Chicago Bears versus the Los Angeles Rams Week 7 game coming up on Monday Night Football, and I guess in the next week. I'm filming this on a Tuesday, but I thought in today's video I'll break down sort of some matchups in this game, things to look out for, and sort of give my score prediction as well for this game. As you guys know, I usually post Packers content on this channel, but I figured we would stay in the NFC North because, of course, how the Chicago Bears play does affect, the Packers where they end up in the NFC North standings. Right now, the Bears are first in the NFC North, so Bears fans, you have it right now. Who knows? Maybe the Packers will be able to come in this week if the Bears can lose this game to the Rams. I'm crossing my fingers that the Bears lose. Nothing against the Bears. I'm just a Packers fan, so I have to cheer against the Bears. It's just what I have to do as a Packers fan. It's just sort of my duty. But nonetheless, let's get into this breakdown. So if you take a look at the Chicago Bears team, they're honestly a pretty interesting team because they have one of the best defenses in football. They rank 7th best yards allowed, 337 per game, and 7th best points allowed per game with 19.3 points per game. So they have a great defense. The problem with the Bears is their offense is very bad. Very bad. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Packers fan. Let's take a look at some stats here. The Bears offense are ranked 28th in yards per game with 312.8 yards per game. So up to this point, the Bears offense just hasn't really looked great enough to really do much if they do make the playoffs. The Bears are 5-1. But up to this point, the Bears have pulled off lots of very close victories. We have a 27-23 win over the Lions, a 17-13 win over the Giants, a 30-26 win over the Falcons. They lost to the Colts 19-11. They barely pulled off the victory versus the Buccaneers 2019. Packers couldn't do it, so good job for you, Bears. Good job, I'll give you that one. And then they pulled off the victory last week, 23-16 over the Panthers. And so, of course, Nick Foles has started in, 3 games now. He's played average, I'd say. He hasn't been great, but he also hasn't been bad. So that's a good thing for the Bears. If we take a look at Dan Orlovsky, he had this to say about Nick Foles that I thought was interesting. He said, simply put, what Nick Foles does for the Chicago Bears is play in rhythm. More often than not, the ball goes where it is supposed to, when it's supposed to. Not much can fool him if he values the ball. I'm just telling you, the Bears can play with anyone because of their defense. So the Bears' defense, great. Their offense hasn't been great. But honestly, this team seems to have thrived. They've been thriving basically as the underdog up to this point. They are coming in as the underdog based on BetMGM and Vegas. They do those odds over there. But they have the Rams favored to win by 5.5 points. But up to this point, the Bears have been underdogs in 6 games this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears somehow pull off another little upset. Definitely could happen. It's not out of the cards completely. But let's take a look at this Rams team. So the Rams also have a great defense. They are 5th in points allowed per game with 19. So you just have to think right now. This Bears offense has been bad up to this point. They've still won, but, the Rams defense has been great. And so you just have to think, if things continue as they have, that this Rams defense will shut down the Bears offense. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if things repeat themselves, that's what I would expect. But Nick Foles did talk about in an interview how they're working to improve. They want to be great. They seem like they have this great mentality. So who knows? Maybe they come out and just completely shock the world, put up 500 yards. Nick Foles throws 4 touchdowns. It could happen, but I don't think it's going to happen, okay? That's just my personal opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, feel free to roast me after the game. But yeah. So if we take a look at this Rams team, Jared Goff has been good this season. Last game wasn't great, losing to the 49ers 16-24. He went 19 for 38. 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So a 50% completion percentage in that game. Honestly, pretty bad. But if he would have played better, they could have pulled out the victory. But honestly, I don't think that is going to continue for Jared Goff. He has been pretty good before last game. His previous 3 games, he had over a 70% completion percentage in all those games. So I do think he's going to bounce back. I think last week was just sort of a bad game for him. So if we take a look at this Rams running backs, up to this point, they've had a great rushing offense, 10th best in rushing yards per game with 135 rushing yards per game. So Darrell Henderson and Malcolm Brown have combined for 565 yards and 5 touchdowns. And last week, Henderson had 14 carries for 88 yards, averaging 6.29 yards per carry. So even though this Bears defense is great, I think this Rams offense is going to put up a fight against this Bears defense, and I think that the Rams will be able to move the ball enough to pull out the victory. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game just because these are just 2 great defenses going up against each other, so it's going to be hard for either team to score. But I do think the Rams will pull out the victory, so my score prediction is going to be Rams 24, Bears 18. I think it's going to be a close one, but I do think the Rams are going to pull off the victory. I, of course, hope I'm right because I'm a Packers fan, and so I really do want the Bears to lose. If the Packers can pull off a victory this week and the Bears lose, I think the Packers will move into first place in the NFC. So maybe I'm a little biased. So maybe don't go like bet all your money that the Rams are going to win. I'm just like a biased Packers fan. I'm trying to be unbiased. Maybe my analysis has been unbiased. I don't know. You can sort of figure it out yourself. But that's sort of my personal prediction. 24-18 Rams. We'll see if it comes to pass on Monday Night Football. But that's basically what I wanted to break down in today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button. We always got to help the YouTube algorithm show it's a good video. If you don't like this video, sorry. I don't know why you've watched up to this point in the video if you really haven't liked it. So there's that. If you guys want to see some more NFL content, make sure you subscribe to the channel down below. But that's going to be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And may the best team win. Peace out.